soon start. I wasn't recording before. Okay. All right. So I just started recording. So welcome everyone. So today we're going to be talking about accounting software with emphasis on cloud accounting, right? So I was just talking about how cloud accounting works and how you can use it as a business person, and how this skill when learned, how you can actually implement this particular skill set in preparing financial statement of any organization. So basically, how does it work? You have to start with the initial setup, after which you do the data entry. So take, for example, you're trying to install a software for an organization that is already in existence. When you're trying to do that kind of function, the way you're going to run that process is going to be totally different for when you are trying to install software, an accounting software for a business that is relatively new. So I'm just going to give you the difference between both of them, right? So let's say somebody reach out to you, or you get employed into an organization and they want to switch from, let's say, Sage software to another software. Or even if they don't want to switch from Sage software to another software, if they are moving their record from like the manual way it's being kept to a cloud-based accounting software, what this means is that they have records previously, right? They probably have done transaction over the years. So what you have to do is that you have to bring in all the information from the formal. Do we have people in the waiting room? Okay, so we have to bring information from the formal way you are keeping records. So let's say you are using your pen and paper to keep record, or you're using an Excel sheet to keep record. You have to do all those data entry processes and bring it into your software. Then also, how does it work? There is automated bookkeeping. So there's something in an accounting software that enables you don't have to over time enter some transaction. So for example, we know that we pay our rent maybe on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis. In a cloud-based accounting software, you're just giving the accounting software information to record this particular amount of money on this particular date every year. So what it does for you is that it is automated. It is not like, you have to manually key in, we paid rent for this. Once you give a cloud-based accounting software that information, it goes ahead to process that information for you. And of course, it does your financial reporting. I'll show you how it looks like, but you have access to a whole lot of financial reports. And this is what accounting is all about. I would keep emphasizing that all this thing you're doing is just the initial scenario. I'm very sure that as technology advances, there will be no need to even do data entry. There might probably be an AI that will help you collect your data, clean your data, and the bulk of the work as a 21st century accountant would be on your ability to draw out insights, your ability to analyze and also communicate the information in your financial report to your stakeholders. So quickly, we'll just go to the next slide. Why businesses prefer cloud accounting? Of course, with cloud accounting, you're rest assured that your data is safe. You become more efficient. Of course, you have the opportunity to integrate with other business tools and software. So because of time, I'll be going to the next page. I've explained this. So before you can choose, I want to use cloud accounting software for my business, these are the factors to consider. You have to consider your system and software requirements. And of course, you have to consider data migration. I've talked about it earlier, data migration and the onboarding process. Because if you're moving from a different software to another different software, you should be able to compile that data together. Because, accounting is like, it looks at history, right? For you to have a financial statement, or formerly known as a balance sheet, as at a particular date, it has to be the accumulation of all the financial events that has happened in that business over time. So that is why it is essential whenever you think of accounting software, or you think of setting up an accounting software for a business, you should be able to bring in previous data and migrate it into the accounting software, so that when the accounting software start running, you're rest assured that you're running a comprehensive or a robust financial process. So to the next slide, we've talked about it. Before I summarize, just for you to read through the conclusion and take away. Accounting software has come to stay, and accounting software would keep improving. So we still have accounting softwares like say QuickBooks. I'm very sure that with the rapid change in technology, a time would come where we will not even really need an accounting software. Probably there's just going to be a robot that does the work, right? But in spite of the whatever the change is going to be, just be rest assured that as an accountant, your job cannot really go extinct, because nobody would be able to think like an accountant. A robot may not be able to analyze the situation from a broader perspective in order to make accurate financial decisions. So quickly, we're going to be moving to the practical side of this class. And you may want to ask me, oh, so which of the softwares are we learning? I saw in the comments box or the chat box that people said, oh, we're going to learn, they know Sage, they know QuickBooks, they know different softwares. So today, because I want to teach you a software that is commonly used in Nigeria and commonly used by medium-sized businesses. Some of these accounting softwares are super expensive, and if the business revenue or turnover is not a lot of money, they may not be able to afford it. So we're working today with the QuickBooks Online. So actually, QuickBooks is actually an accounting software provided by um Intuit. So Intuit is the company, or is the software company that designs the QuickBooks Online. So there are different versions, or would I say there are different types of QuickBooks. So you have the QuickBooks Online, you also have the QuickBooks Desktop, you have the QuickBooks Accountant. However, all of these are integrated into what we call the QuickBooks Online. So how do you set up a QuickBooks Online platform or online software to help you manage finance of an organization as an accountant? So basically, it's quite simple. When people tell me, oh, Favor, I want to learn Sage, I'm like, yes, you can learn Sage, you can learn QuickBooks, and QuickBooks is not only the accounting software. Some of us did not mention Zoho Books. So in accounting software, we have not just only QuickBooks. Yes, QuickBooks is quite popular, but we have softwares like Zoho Books, we have softwares like QuickBooks, we also have Sage, we also have Enterprise, and a whole lot of them. But the one that is commonly used in most organizations, because of how flexible it is and how user-friendly it is QuickBooks. And that is what I am going to emphasize on teaching you this evening. So how does it work? When you open your Facebook application and you open your Instagram application, it's all from Meta. Meta is the parent company, or is the software company, the app company, right? However, sorry, I have to take this call. Okay, so I had a call coming and I don't know why. Quite a number of persons have been asking. Okay, okay. So sorry. I just need to be sure. We have some persons in the lobby waiting to join the call. I just want to be sure that they all have been admitted. Ah, so they have. So they have. Oh, sorry about the interruption. Sorry about the interruption. So like I was saying, I was talking about the different softwares we have. So we have softwares like QuickBooks Online. We have software like Zoho Books. But today, for the purpose of this class, I'm going to just streamline, because we can't really do everything, right? I'm going to just streamline it to the. Someone wants to join the call. I'm trying to get people join the call. Oh, all right, trying to just admit everyone into the call. All right, I think we're good now. Yeah, we're good now. So sorry about that. So, like I was saying, we have different kind of accounting software, and the good thing about this accounting software is that once you know how to use one accounting software, trust me, you will be able to use every other accounting software. Um just like you have your Facebook and Instagram. I was trying to make that illustration before. So when you have Instagram, you know that, oh, Instagram, it just has a different look and feel compared to Facebook. So what you do on a Facebook application is almost the same what you do on on an Instagram application, and that is how all of this accounting software is, because you can literally do the same thing on this software and go to another software with, because of the knowledge you have in this particular software, let's say Sage, you can be able to use that same knowledge to access another software. So today we'll be looking at QuickBooks Online because it's super easy to use, and I just want you to follow me, ask question wherever you're lost, so that I can bring you up to speed, and so that I'll be sure that you're really following. So first of all, how do you get to sign up on QuickBooks Online? So for example, you have a gig as an accountant and somebody reaches out to you and say, oh, hi Favor, I've been using manual record keeping. I want to start using a software. I'm tired of having to, lose my records. I'm tired of having to download applications upon applications. I want something that would be able to enable me communicate and collaborate with my staff across the world. What is the first thing you're going to do? So the first thing you're supposed to do whenever you are doing any QuickBooks installation or any QuickBooks or accounting software installation is that you have to sign up, and that is what you're supposed to do. So you're supposed to sign up that business into the QuickBooks database, right? So I'm just going to share my screen now to where we can go about that. So how do you do it? You just go to their website. So QuickBooks have a website, and the interesting thing about QuickBooks Online is that you can actually, so there is a mobile app, right? So there is also even the web-based portal where, so you can have access to your accounting, do all of your accounting, do all of your record keeping, do all of your analysis on the web-based portal and as well as on the phone. But however, I'll strongly advise you to stick with the web-based portal, because it will give you a broader version compared to just doing it on your mobile device. Doing it on your system or doing it on the web-based portal would help you. Yes, would give you access to some certain field you may not be able to have access to. So quickly, let's go. How can you set up a QuickBooks for your clients, or how can you use QuickBooks accounting to record and enter in financial transactions for your clients? So I'll just share my screen. So how can you go about setting up a QuickBooks account for a business, right? So you just have to, I don't know if you can see my screen, but the first thing you have to do is that you just have to go to their website. And I want you to really understand this. Doing or making use of an accounting software is not difficult. It's something you can do on the go. It's something you can do with your mobile phone. It's something you can do anywhere. Remember, I talked about cloud accounting, and this is the future of accounting. The ability for you to access your financial statement online at any point, the ability to be able to draw out insight from your financial statement, the ability for you to do your bookkeeping, your record keeping, automate, like using automation without having to constantly enter in figure, without having to think of, oh, how do I do this presentation, how do I get some records, how do I know what product is selling faster, how do I know my age receivable. So this is what a cloud-based accounting software will do for you. And just for emphasis, today we'll be looking at particularly the QuickBooks online accounting software. So quickly, how do you sign up or how do you get a company registered on this software? I forgot to mention, because this is a cloud-based accounting software, it is not entirely free. So yes, and these are one of the conditions you have to consider when setting up an accounting software for a business. So many business owners will reach out to you, or as an accountant, you can even be working for an organization and they ask you, oh, you're an accountant, can you tell us the kind of software we are to use? You don't just say, oh, I think QuickBooks is good, or I think Sage. That is not how we should do it. You should be able to understand the financial capacity of this business, so that you're able to prefer a software that is not just very expensive. Just imagine you're working as an accountant or as a financial analyst in a firm that has a revenue of, let's say, 25 million naira every year. If you're working in that kind of organization, it is going to be so wrong for you to get a software where they have to pay a subscription fee of about, let's say, 10 million naira. It doesn't make any sense. So for you to set up any accounting software for any business, there are some factors you have to consider. So I'll just admit the people waiting. So we have Blessing, we have Okokoni. All right, I think I'm done admitting them. So we'll just go back to our screen. Okay, I was here. So first of all, how do you go about it? So like I was saying earlier, before I got disrupted by the people that want to sign in, that want to come into the meeting. So like I said, there are some factors you need to consider before even thinking of setting up an accounting software for any business. And trust me, this is a skill that once you're so good at, you literally would be able to have a side hustle that is different from your 9 to 5. So if you're a recent graduate here and you're thinking, oh, as an accountant, what can I do? What can I learn to actually earn more money? This is a skill you need to learn, and learn wholeheartedly, because there are so many businesses out there that are still struggling with manual record keeping. Statistics has it that we have over 100,000, if not, yes, over 100, way over 100,000 SME registered on the CAC portal, meaning that there are lots of opportunity for you as an accountant if you're able to master the skill of cloud accounting. And even as someone who desires to, climb the accounting career ladder and end up becoming a CFO, having this skill set, which is like using software, understanding how it works, can actually go a long way in helping you become valuable. So back to QuickBooks. How do we set up a QuickBooks online profile for a business? So you just have to go to their website. So they have different websites. Once you just type QuickBooks online, it's going to just pop out. So there is a website. It's either you're going through this route, or you're going through, once you just type QuickBooks online, automatically it will take you to this page. I don't know if you can see my screen, but this is just how it's going to look like, because you have to go through all these processes of registering QuickBooks, registering the business or the organization on QuickBooks before you can think of using the software. So I don't know if you saw my slide. I mentioned that there are actually two ways to it, right? So you can either choose to deploy an accounting software to a new business. So when you're deploying an accounting software to a new business, what you have to do is that you just have to, first of all, create a company profile. You have to create a company profile on your preferred software. So we're going to do these two scenarios. The first scenario is going to be, we want to deploy this particular accounting software to a new business, and we want to deploy an accounting software to an already existing business. So now let's focus on the first scenario, which is, okay, we have a new business. We just incorporated the company. The name of the company is maybe Nibis Consult Limited. How do we go about it? So the first step is that you have to create that company's profile on your preferred software. Secondly, you have to create your relevant chart of accounts. So what is a chart of accounts? A chart of accounts can be described as a bucket of accounts. For example, in the financial statement, for those of us who are accountants, you know that you have different line items in your statement of income and expenditure. you will see things like, oh, there's rent, there is fixed asset, there's motor vehicles, there are assets, there are different things. So creating that chart account simply means that you create a ledger sort of that suits a particular transaction. So these are the steps you can take to actually deploy an accounting software to a new business, after which you would create the relevant customers and suppliers. So back to our QuickBooks. So this is how it looks like basically. You can see it, right? QuickBooks is not actually free. No accounting software is free. Every organization that you see using an accounting software actually is paying for this software. And I know it's not just only QuickBooks. We have a couple fact, 1001 accounting softwares out there, but the one I would strongly recommend that most businesses use, and it can be used even for service businesses, for product-based businesses, you can actually use this software for, is QuickBooks. Yes, I would also show you how Sage works, but before I would take you to how Sage works, I would like to show you how QuickBooks works so that you can understand that regardless of whichever software you eventually learn, it is actually the same across borders. So whatever you're going to see on the QuickBooks software is the same thing or something similar. That is what you see in a Sage accounting software. That is what you're also going to see in a Zoho book software. So this is the interface for QuickBooks. And like I said, the first step for using any accounting software for any business is to create a company profile for the business, right? So back to our, so but this is our screen, and then so we're going to this just shows, oh, this is the QuickBooks online site, and we have a couple of persons trying to join in, and it's just distracting me. All right. I think at some point we have to stop people from joining. So back to what I was saying. So this is how it is. Actually, since QuickBooks is not a Nigerian company or a Nigerian organization, you'd have to pay for it, right? So this is what the cost is. And remember, I said something. For you to determine the kind of accounting software you're going to deploy to any business, there are factors you must consider. First of all, I mentioned you have to consider the financial capacity of that business. You cannot be telling a business to pay for a software what two types of its revenue. Trust me, every business is in business to make profit. So if you're going to, as a consultant, as an accountant, as a finance person, if you're being called upon or you're being consulted to or helping a business decide on the kind of accounting software they are going to use, then you should be your first question should be, oh, so what is your profit like? Or what is your revenue like? So that you're able to decide on the particular accounting software that would suit that individual or that business. So this is the options we have in QuickBooks Online. Remember, I said that it's a cloud-based accounting software, and just like you have your DSTV where you have different packages, and what you'll be able to get in maybe package 1 might slightly differ from what you'll be able to get in package 2, and this is how it works exactly. So in QuickBooks, we have what we call the simple start package. We also have what we call the essential, and we also have what we call the plus. And the difference between all of this different type of QuickBooks accounting software is that there are limits to what you can do. So for example, for the simple start, what you can do with the simple start is just to help the organization track income and expense. In the simple start, you can be able to send custom invoices and quotes. You can connect to your bank. You can track VAT and also taxes. You can also get insights and reports, and so on and so forth. But for the essentials, what you'll be able to do on the essentials and package in QuickBooks is you'll be able to do every other thing the simple start accounting software package can do, right? But then there are additions like manage bills and payments, track employee time, multi-currency. It has 3 users plus your accountant. So for example, if you're asked to set up an accounting software for, let's say, a small business, a retail store, there will be no need to go ahead to set up an essential QuickBooks, right? Because they may not really have to track time, and they may not even be dealing with multi-currency. And that brings me to what I said initially, that for you to even think of deploying any accounting software, there are some certain questions you must ask that business owner. There are certain questions you must ask that organization as to, oh, so you guys want an accounting software, what do you people want to achieve? Are you people using multi-currency? How many users do you want to have access to this software? So for the plus package, or the plus package of the software, you can actually do the combination of what is in the simple start and what is in the essentials, right? However, there are also other additional benefits like occurring transactions and bill, tracking inventory, tracking project profitability, managing budget, and also you have the opportunity to collaborate, have 5 persons use the software simultaneously, plus your accountant. So we're going to get started. And for the purpose of this training, because I want to expose you to a whole lot of things, I don't want us to do the simple start or essential or plus, or essential rather. We're going to be making use of the plus version of the accounting software. So if you're on this call, what I would advise you to do shortly after this training, you can see that actually it costs $1 per month for the different packages. But because you are not literally going to set up this thing for any organization for start, you can decide to sign up for free and try your hands on different functions in the software. So I'll just show you how you can do that using the QuickBooks Plus. I want to be sure that we are following. I don't know if I'm fast, I don't know if I'm too slow, so I want to see your comments. Please, if you're following, just say, oh, hi Favor, I'm following. I just want to see that you're following. Just use the chat box to say you're following. Okay, Sharp Code is saying they're following. I hope I'm not too far. I hope I'm not too fast, and I hope you're understanding. I really want us to understand this. I was supposed to send a case study, but I'm sure if I had sent that case study, we will not be able to finish what we have to do. So my goal is to ensure that you understand the interface. Understand, because just like if you're going to introduce Instagram to a 20-year-old person, trust me, it might just take a little while, but you'll be able to follow, you'll be able to understand it in a short time, right? So that's what I want to do. We're just going to enter in some basic transactions on the software. I show you what the report is going to look like. I show you how you can, do some kind of trend analysis on that financial statement, and we can call it a night and welcome Ngozi, the next speaker. So quickly, let's go back to our QuickBooks page. So this is our QuickBooks page, and it has showed us, oh, there is a simple start part, there is essential, there is plus. You're not buying it because you're not setting it up for a business and nobody's paying you. So I'll tell people, you go and click on the free trial part, which is start free trial. So when you click on start free trial, it takes you to this page. I hope my internet is fast enough. All right, so it takes you to this page, and so this page actually is like you're telling Intuit, which is the providers of QuickBooks, that, oh, I want to set up an accounting software for a business. Remember, this business can be an existing business or a new business. So when you're doing this, you don't have to put in your personal details. You're acting as a professional, and everything you're doing as an accountant has to be in a professional manner. So when you have this email address, what is supposed to be there is not your personal email address, right? It has to be your work mail or something, because you're creating the accountant, the software, or you're creating the QuickBooks accounting software for an organization. So you have to put in probably the organization email or the business owner email, or if the CEO is fine with using their emails, you can actually do so. For the purpose of this training, because we are not literally creating this for any organization, I'm going to use my personal email. So we just type the email of the business owner. You type it where you have the email address, because notifications will be sent to that particular email address. Information with regards to your debtors, everything will be sent to that email address. And that is why you have to be extremely careful that whatever information you are filling on this part of the form is accurate As an accountant, you should not, if there's anything you should be looking out for, is that you should be looking out for accuracy and completeness. Can you hear me? Why is this not working? Okay. So, like I was saying, wait. Okay. So, like I was saying, you should look out for accuracy and completeness in whenever you're trying to do anything with an accounting software. So I'll just put in my, I hope we're taking notes. I'll just put in my email address here. cfavoranidebe@gmail.com. Yep, so first name, of course, your number. So this email is not valid because I've used that email too. Which other email can I use for this? Okay. Let's do Z favor. Okay. I hope this works. Okay, so that can work. And so when choosing your password, when trying to create your password, so sometimes because you're talking about accounting software, and an accounting software would contain several, in fact, so many sensitive information because we're talking about the finance of the organization. So sometimes the internet would automatically generate a password for you. Sometimes you'll be left to generate a password yourself. But ensure that whenever you're trying to set up an accounting software for a business, the password you're going to use has to be very unique, because anybody that has access to that password would have access to your accounting software. And it contains everything. In fact, it contains your bank statement. In fact, I'm going to show you. You can actually link your bank, that is your business bank account, to your accounting software. So just imagine that you're careless with the technicality of the password. You would end up choosing a password that is so weak and that can be easily manipulated. However, there are so many checks and balances. So I'm sure so many of you may be wondering, oh, since it's in the cloud, won't it be tampered with? What if I lose my data? QuickBooks over time has proven to be a trusted cloud accounting service provider, and it has been able to successfully provide accounting solution to millions of businesses. So there is no how they've not had a case where there was a data breach or there was a data leak, right? So you're sure that your data is actually safe using QuickBooks. So they're asking me to enter my number. I don't want to give them my real number. I don't know why they're not accepting this one, but this should work. I believe this should work. Okay, so once you put in the email address, remember the email address is not your personal email address. It should be, because this is the email address that will be linked to the organization's accounting software. So you have to ensure that the email address you're using is an email address that is either that of the accountant or an official email address. So once you input your email address, you input your first name. This first name can actually even be the name of the business. It's not compulsory, but I just inserted my name so that we can understand, right? Then this is the password, and QuickBooks is asking you, oh, would you like to receive helpful marketing emails and SMS from QuickBooks Online and its partners? You can choose to say no or yes, but let's say we want to accept, right? So we're clicking yes, and we select one more step. So it's taking us to our profile on QuickBooks. So this is how it looks like. We're almost there. Remember that you can access this thing with your phone, you can access it with your laptop, you can access it with any device. So once you are anywhere, so there's somebody, you're collaborating with somebody outside of your region, with this software, the business owner, the CEO can have a glance as to what is happening, the financial status of what is happening in the business. So this is the platform. So it's asking you, oh, welcome. We are glad you're here. Here is what we will do right now. Tell us what you need. So you may choose to answer all these questions, right? We'll ask a few questions to get to know your business. We'll get started on what you're here for. So this is just the initial conversation. We've not even gotten to the main part. So you select next, and then it asks you, because we're trying to create this software for a business, right? So what is the name of this business? So they might, I don't know, can somebody just drop any name that comes to their mind so that we can pick up the name from the chat box and use it for this our demo practical? Can somebody just drop a name? I don't know if you can still hear me. Please, okay, you're asking a question. Okay, please, is the email to be used yours or the company's own? Okay, I mentioned that you're not supposed to use. Let me stop sharing because it looks like this sharing is causing a lot of distortion. So yes, so I mentioned that you're not supposed to use your personal email unless unless you're trying to do practical. Because if you're an accountant and you're given a job, your first day in the organization, oh hi Sharp or hi Onyinye, I want you. Oh, we've been using so and so software for a while. I want you to help us migrate all our information from this particular software to QuickBooks. Are you going to be there for a lifetime? No. Are you the owner of business? No. So it's expected that whenever you're trying to create an accounting software for a business, you use an official email address or yes, the company's email address, right? So Chika Madu, you're raising up your hands. I will just unmute you. Do you want to say something, Chika Madu? Sorry, I just want to take a few questions so that I'm sure you understand.
No. That was an error.
All right. No
That was
problem.
an
No.
error. I'm following what you're doing here.
All right. Thank you very much, Chika. So we have a couple of suggestions, but I'll just go with the first one. I think we have AZ Limited. So let's call this fictitious company AZ Limited. So we're about to deploy an accounting software for AZ Limited. So I'll start sharing my screen so that we can get back to QuickBooks Online. Yep. So now I hope we can see my screen. So this company is AZ Limited. This is the first thing you should do when setting up an accounting software. You know, we've not even gotten into the accounting software. We are still trying to onboard this particular business, AZ Limited, into the QuickBooks interface or into the QuickBooks cloud storage, something like that, into the QuickBooks database, right? So this is AZ Limited. After typing, you can even see they're not even asking for your business name, they're asking for your legal business name. So when you're keying in the business name, you have to be sure that this business name is actually the legal name of the business, so that when you're sending out invoice or when you're printing out your financial statement, you can clearly see the legal name of the business. So we'll select next. Is there somebody that wants to join? Okay. Somebody wants to join. Once we select next, it takes us to this place. So look at the interesting thing about QuickBooks. Accounting software will make your life easy. So they're asking you, AZ Limited, what kind of industry does AZ Limited operate in? So is AZ Limited an accommodation and food services business? Is AZ Limited an administrative and support service business? Is AZ Limited a financial service? In fact, there are a whole lot. So even when you are faced with, oh, I want to set up a QuickBooks software or an accounting software for a hospital, all of these options are available on the QuickBooks online platform. So you can set up business for a medical or healthcare community service, for a professional service business. And the decision you make here would determine how your QuickBooks page will look like. Because just imagine if you're setting up an accounting software for a hospital, you don't expect it to look the same way an accounting software for a farm will look like. Or you're setting up an accounting software for a financial services company, that's a bank. You don't expect it to look like the way a real estate accounting software would look like, right? So you have to be very particular on the industry you're selecting. So another one is that, what if you look through all the lists we have here and you cannot see your particular business. Maybe you're into buying and selling, or you're into something very special that QuickBooks have not highlighted here. What you just have to do is that you just have to select others. And when you select others, QuickBooks would ask you, okay, so you've selected order, tell us what you do specifically. So you can now go ahead and type in, oh, I sell this. So what you're just telling QuickBooks is that, oh, QuickBooks, my company or this organization, it doesn't fall within the scope of the of what you've listed. However, this is what I do. So what QuickBooks will do is that it will just go and just give you a general accounting software. But when you tell QuickBooks that, oh, this is the industry I'm working in, what it does for you is that the charts of accounts, the financial statement, even the terminologies you're going to be seeing on that particular QuickBooks accounting software will be terms related to that thing you're doing, right? So let's just assume, so what should we select? That let's assume that we are into okay, education and training, AZ Limited. What is AZ? Let me just ask the person who gave us that suggestion. Who gave us the suggestion? AZ. Who said AZ? AZ. Okay, Mbebu Ifani. You said that you were the one that suggested, okay, manufacturing. Awesome. So let's go to select manufacturing. So let's say AZ Limited is a manufacturing company. Once we're able to identify the industry this business falls into, we select next. So you can see it's loading. And of course, for you to use a cloud-based accounting software, you need to be connected to the internet. I'm sure so many persons can't even do without the internet, and that is the life we're living. Everything we are doing is you literally have to depend on the internet. So it's cloud-based, meaning that you cannot have it installed on your laptop. You cannot download it. Even Facebook, when you download Facebook, for you to access Facebook, you need to have internet. When your Gmail, for you to access your Gmail, you need to have internet. So you need to be sure you're connected to the internet. So now they are still asking, why they're asking this question is to have an idea of the kind of software they would create for you, right? So they're asking, so what kind of business is this? Is AZ Limited a sole trader? Is AZ Limited a partnership business? Is AZ Limited a charity or an association? Is AZ Limited a company? In fact, a lot of things. But I want to believe that AZ Limited is a company. So we'll select company because companies are usually incorporated and sometimes they have shares. Once you select anything that is not what the company does, it affects the kind of information you're going to see on your accounting software. So we select company and we click next, and you can see QuickBooks is even generous enough to ask you, oh, so if it's not a sole trader business, if it's not a partnership business, if it's not a traded company or a cooperative, if it's something else, still tell us what is it exactly what kind of business are you into, because that is what would help them determine the kind of accounting software they would create for you. So we're selecting company and we click on next. So once we click on next, you can see it's loading. Is anybody saying something? Sorry. Okay. Is anybody saying something? Okay. All right. So sorry. So let's go back. So now we have a couple of persons joining. So sorry, I have to make sure that these guys are in. Okay. They have come in now. Okay. All right. So back to this is still the initial part of it. So QuickBooks is asking you, so what do you want to do with QuickBooks? Do you want to be able to send and track invoice? Do you want to be able to track your VAT? So VAT is actually value added tax. And in Nigeria, there are some services and goods that you are expected by the law to charge VAT on. This is not a taxation class, but I just want to give you like an overview so that you can understand what VAT is. So QuickBooks is asking, so what do you want to do? Basically, as a business, so this is a manufacturing business, right? Meaning that they would manufacture and they will sell. So they would have to deal with things like raw materials, because they would have to buy in the material, then refine it, and then sell it out. So you would want to do everything, not just only send and track invoices. So you should be able to select everything. You want to track your VAT, you want to manage your inventory so that you know when goods are low, when goods are out of stock. In fact, what QuickBooks does for you is that you don't have to literally go to start counting as you're selling. Once you tell QuickBooks that, oh, QuickBooks, I have 20 cartons of, let's say you produce, what will I say you produce? Let's say you produce mobile devices, right? You can say, oh, QuickBooks, I have 20 cartons of 20 pieces of phone in my warehouse. Once you're selling, automatically QuickBooks is doing the deduction. And if you want QuickBooks to even remind you, oh, you're running out of stock, restock, automatically to help you do. QuickBooks would even help you send reminders to your debtors. So at a glance, you can say, oh, this receivable aged 30 days, they are due already. So QuickBooks send me an automated reminder to all of our debtors. So these are things you can do with QuickBooks. So you may just want to just select everything and then go to next. We're just still trying to like set up our so now I know one thing about QuickBooks is that it is location specific. So if you're doing a QuickBooks and you're in Nigeria, it should help you set up taxes that is suitable for a Nigerian business. If you recall, when we were trying to register business, right, it asked us for our phone number and we selected Nigeria. So if you're trying to like help a business in UK or in Canada set up their accounting software, then that portion of the form where you have your mobile number you should be able to select the countries so that QuickBooks can sign it with the relevant taxes that is expected of you to pay in that region, right? So because we selected Nigeria, you can see, oh, let's set you up with the right tax code for Nigeria. You can choose to say yes and by clicking next, or you can choose to say, oh, don't worry, I'll set up my tax code myself. But for this, we're just going to select next. So while we wait for it to load, okay, so we're still asking, well, what should we do first? Set up an invoice to get paid, track receipt and expense. You may this is not very essential, but you may just choose to do any of the two. So just let's go to next, and we can. So this is, I just tell you, oh, do you want to start setting up? Do you want to get paid, start getting paid with invoices? You want to set up your invoice, you want to set up your receipts? You can choose to, oh, I want to set up my receipts, I want to set up my invoices. But this is not very necessary as at this time, because we're trying to just onboard a new client or a new business into an accounting software. So we're just going to select skip for now. Let's make it easy to see all your income and expense, blah blah blah. So now this is the good thing about automation. So if you look at the screen closely, you see that QuickBooks is asking you to link your account and see everything in one place, and it's really amazing because one of the tedious tasks an accountant will do is bank reconciliation. Trust me, if you've ever had to do a bank reconciliation before, it's not interesting because you're looking at figures and you're asking yourself, how did we come here? How did we get here? You're seeing that, oh, a certain amount of money was paid on the 25th of maybe September to this account, and you bring your bank statement. You're not even seeing anything close to that in your bank statement, and you have to start tracing, oh, where did this money come from? Which account did it leave? QuickBooks help you save all the stress of going back and forth, right? So you can choose to link your bank, that is the business bank account, to QuickBooks, and it does everything for you. Just that some Nigerians don't like it, but I think it's really a good thing, because if it's your business bank account, that means every money that come into that account or leave that account would be for business purpose, right? So that when you want to do your reconciliation, it is more easier to integrate your financial statement, that is the bank account, in your financial statement, and your real bank account. It is more easier to integrate the both of them, right? So for people that want to link their accounts and select link account, it should ask you some couple of questions. So why it's still loading? I wonder why it's taking time. Why is it taking so much time? I just want to show you how it looks like trust me, we're not going to be integrating any bank account. But you can see, because you selected Nigeria, so, and that is why you have to be very, very careful when you're selecting your location. Because you selected Nigeria, you can see Zenith Bank, you can see Trust Bank, you can see Echo Bank, you can see UBA, you can see First Bank. So whatever bank you want to, whatever bank the business is using, if that business owner is key on or is big on integrating his bank account to the accounting software, you can just select the bank and to tell you what to do. You put your password, get some certain things done, and it is safe actually, because QuickBooks does not, they don't have access to your money. They just want to see what is going into this account, what is coming into this account. Is it the same with what the accountant is recording, right? So they don't have access to your money per se. They just want to understand, just like they just want to have access to your bank statement. And trust me, it's not something you have to worry about. But because that is not our focus today, remember, we are still trying to onboard AZ Limited into the software. So I'm going to just go back. Let's just go back to where we were before we got here. Oh, my internet is super slow. I don't like it. Why is it slow? Just bear with me. It's quite slow. I could do this. It should work. Do we have? So I don't know if you can still hear me. My internet is acting up. Are we still here? Just a response if you can still hear me, because my internet is taking time to load. Can we still hear me? Hi, people. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's go back, because we are not, our focus is not on setting up bank. We're not interested, at least for today. We're not interested in linking our bank account to our QuickBooks, because it would require us to send in our account number and some other authentication information. These are the things it will be requiring. And trust me, we don't want to get into that area for now. So you can just select skip now. Let's make it easy. Blah blah blah. Okay, 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 okay. Skip for now. So he's asking, these are questions. He just wants to know the kind of business you were running or the kind of business you were doing, right? So you say, he's asking you, how do you track your receipts today? Saving receipts is an important part of running your business. You would need them for tax time and for good record keeping. So you can say, oh, do you save paper receipts? Do you save your receipt digitally? Do you save paper and digital receipts? I don't save receipts. So this is not very necessary, but if you know you have the answer to this question, you might just want to select the one your business does. Remember, we are setting up this business for AZ Limited, which is a manufacturing company and also a new organization. So it could be that AZ Limited may not have had any receipt or may not have done any transaction. This is the first time it is having to do transaction. This is the first time it's having to open. So they may not have any receipt. And it's not even compulsory, because you can actually skip and go straight to the software, right? But we're just going to select the, oh, I don't have any receipts, and we select next. Okay, so he's still asking us question, keep your receipt, maximize deduction. Do you want to download the version that will be used on the iOS phone, like iPhone, or do you want to get it on Android? All these are not very necessary. You can just click on next so that we can get into business proper. So let's go. Yes. So you're welcome. Let's just see loading. So you're welcome. So this is how an accounting software is. You can see it's still looking relatively new. It's still looking relatively, we've not done anything. This is a brand new accounting software for AZ Limited. I just want to show you around this software and show you Sage. You know, some people are saying, oh, I would like to learn Sage. I don't want to learn QuickBooks. It is almost the same. The same process you would take to get into this point, it is the same process you would also take toward getting to Sage, right? So Sage 50 and QuickBooks are the same, just like they have different interface. So this is basically an accounting software, a cloud-based accounting software. Once I close this tab and I have my login details in my phone or on another device, I'll be able to get an overview as to how this business is running. So let me just scroll down so that you see something. So you know this is new, so we still have to do some a bit of settings and everything. But once you select this business view, it should be able to give you at a glance everything that has happened in the business over a period of time. So for example, let me scroll down. You see that because this is a new business, we've not done anything, we've not sold, we've not bought, we don't have debtors, we don't have capital, we have nothing, right? You see that, oh, our profit or loss for the period of August is zero, our expense is zero, we don't have any bank accounts, we did not link our bank account, right? So you would see that our account actually is zero. So when it comes to deploying an accounting software, one of the first things you should do is that you should be able to import some necessary information. This is a new business, but this business should have a logo. You discover that here it's blank because the business don't have a logo. This business should be able to send receipts, should be able to send invoice, should be able to bill with customers, should be able to bill with clients. So the first thing you have to do when you enter into any accounting software is to ensure that you do your setting. That is the first thing you are supposed to do. Oh, okay, okay. Quite a number of persons have been waiting to join the call. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Quite a number. What's happening? Sorry, I think we have people in the waiting room, and I just have to admit them. So I think at this point, I've admitted everybody. Are there more people? So I think I have. Just give me a few seconds to admit everybody. I really don't know why. I really don't know why it's okay, okay. Sorry, I have to go back to our training. I just want to be sure that everybody that should be in the session is in the session. I just want to be sure that everybody that should be in the session is in the session. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. Okay. All right. So like I was saying, you have to go to the settings to do some changes. Admit. Davidson. All right. Okay, back to what I was saying. You have to do to go to the settings to make some adjustment and to do some settings, right? But I just want to show you how Sage looks like so that you can see the comparative, you can see the difference between Sage, the Almighty Sage, not like Almighty, but the popular Sage and the popular QuickBooks. So this is Sage, and this is how Sage looks like. Me personally, I think I prefer QuickBooks interface, maybe because I like green to Sage. Sage is so boring and it's so just white and black. And so I've actually created a company on Sage called Nibis Consult Academy. And so it's asking you, what do you want to do? I don't know if you can still see my screen. Oh, can you see? No, no, no. I don't think you can see my screen. No. Let me change the settings. I think I'm just sharing. Okay, you can't see my screen. So let me show you how Sage looks like so that you can see that these accounting software, they are just similar things in different ways. Very similar in just different ways. So this is Sage. And before we got here, right, we had to go through the setting up of the company. For QuickBooks, before we got to QuickBooks, we had to go through, what is the name of the company, where is their fiscal address, blah 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 blah. And that is the same thing you're also going to do in Sage. So when you sign up on Sage, or when you're trying to onboard a new client on Sage, what you just have to do is to go through this same this same format, or this same method, whatever. Just go, you see the same thing. So it's not different. So anytime you sit down to tell yourself, I want to learn an accounting software, right? Once you sit down and you learn one, you will be able to apply it across all accounting software. So this is Sage, and I'm trying to set up the Sage account for Nibis Consult Academy. If I'm to put them side by side, trust me, it's still the same thing. If you want to upload your logo, you just upload your logo, change the way your invoice looks, and eventually you get to this point. Let's say this is the initial question and answer. They're asking you a question to know your business. You can even see for VAT, they're asking you, do you charge your customers VAT? Yes or no? If you charge VAT, how much is the percent of the VAT you charge? So at this point, I'll be pausing so that our next facilitator, Ngozi, can come up. She's supposed to join us by 7:30, and any moment from now,
Hello,
we'll be
people.
having.
I'm right here.
Oh, hi. So I'll just stop sharing so that we can dive right into the session. So hi, Ngozi. Good evening. I'm really excited to have you on this particular edition of the Tech Savvy Accountant Bootcamp. I discussed earlier, it is a bootcamp that is open for young accountants, that's undergraduate, recent graduates, and it's just to help accounting students, accountants, finance people understand that in today's world, you need to actually embrace technology and implement it in your day-to-day activities. So I'll just briefly read through your bio and officially hand over the virtual mic to you. I'll share my screen now. So trying to get the bio. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a huge privilege to have Ngozi join us. This one. Yes. So I believe we can see my screen now. So welcome Ngozi. I'm going to be reading the bio and I want us in the chat box to give her a very warm welcome. So Ngozi Ukweni Ogagaoghene is a first class BSc graduate in accounting at Babcock University. She's a chartered accountant and has an MBA focused on finance and business analytics from State University. She has served as a global alumni for Enactus, an organization that provides a platform for students to work on community development projects that impact the three Ps, which is people, profit, and planet. After her BSc graduation, she started her career in the deal advisory division of KPMG, where she has gained invaluable experience working in financial transactions ranging from mergers and acquisition, financing, strategy partnership, and restructuring. She has also worked on blockchain projects and other innovative technology disrupting the financial service industry business and operating model. In 2019, she was selected as one of Forbes on the 30 Scholars, an accolade for diversity, academic excellence, and leadership. As a Forbes scholar, she aligns this opportunity with her passion to build an excellent educational system. She hopes to use her voice and wealth of knowledge to help young people become globally competitive. Currently, she works as an investment professional in the IFC World Bank Group in Washington, D.C. Over the last several years, she has led and supported several global and regional initiatives in financial inclusion, SME finance, capital markets, supply chain, and more recently, the creative industry. She is passionate about driving excellence, diversity, leadership, community development, and building globally competitive human capital is a key element of her brand. Ladies and gentlemen, with a virtual round of applause or a virtual standing ovation, let's make welcome Ngozi Ukwenyu Ogagaoghene. Over to you, Ngozi. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Favor, for that profile. I can't believe that everything you read has something to do with me. But I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me to join this session. You can hear me clearly, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So thank you so much, Favor. I'm really excited. Thank you for the opportunity that you've given me to be here. And thank you to all the participants online. I'm really grateful that you took out this time to learn and to improve yourself. As you go ahead. Favor, please confirm that you can see my screen, please.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'm just going to touch briefly, like Favor said, I'm currently an investment of professional to the World Bank, and I'm going to share a little bit of why this topic is important to me. As I started my career, like you read, when I started in KPMG, obviously in Babcock, I had exposure to Microsoft Excel, being a chartered accountant, and how all of that works in terms of the audit and things like that. But I realized that as I grew in my career, I had access to a large amount of data as a finance and accounting professional that required me to process. And that's when I got involved in technology and the importance of technology in our work as accountants. And so I paused from my career in KPMG, where I had experience in Excel, in modeling, 10 years financial statement, financial and operation modeling. And like she said, I went to Illinois State University for my MBA. And when I was picking my focus, because I know the importance of technology, I picked a focus in data analytics. And that experience helped me to learn more about data processing tools like R, like Python, Tableau, Power BI, and granted me that exposure that I needed to launch my career at the World Bank. And also another important thing I just wanted to flag, as I was interviewing for roles in the World Bank, one of the key things that came up was my blockchain project when I was doing my MBA, and I thought that that was a key selling point compared to the rest of the people that were being interviewed. That I placed priority on technology, and as a young person, everybody is looking towards you to bring technology, to bring creativity to the work, to bring improve efficiency and the processing. And technology is the tool that helps you do that. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the effect of disruptive technology on accounting professional. And my name is Ngozi Ogagaoghene, but I like to be called NG. So if you see me anywhere, please feel free to call me NG. I appreciate that. Starting with what I think it's you already know, but a tech-savvy accountant is one that embraces technology as an enabling tool. And the emphasis is on enabling tool, right? It's technology is a tool that helps you improve productivity and delivering value, right? It's important for us to know that technology is a tool. The human element is still an important part of the work we do as accountants. Unfortunately, the Nigerian educational system doesn't give us that exposure that we need to incorporate technology in our educational doing our bachelor's degree. We don't get that amount of information about the importance of technology. And so when I went for my MBA, not surprisingly, I found that amongst most of my peers, even though I knew how to use Excel, my Excel skills was like 2 over 10, and the rest of the class, people from Asia, people from America, all their Excel skills were like 9.9/10. So I took it upon myself to brush up my skills, to learn, to become a globally competitive talent. Because as an accountant, you want to be able to raise your shoulder high and compete with the international space. So the essence of this discussion or this bootcamp is I'm going to give room for question and answer, because I think that's what we're really on about here. But the role of accounting, what I think is important to mention is that the role of accounting is shifting from record keeping to become a trusted business advisor. Now, usually you would see the revenue, the cost. You have, as an accountant, you have an overview of the numbers around how an organization functions. Now, the transition we are going through is requiring you to be a business advisor. So your CEO, your manager, everybody is looking up to you to transition from just reporting on the number to tell them what the dynamics of the number is and what the importance of that number means. So the accounting profession is always evolving, and to thrive, you must involve with it. And then I just wanted to touch on a few misconceptions about technology and accounting. And the first one, we've heard it before over and over and again: technology is going to replace accountants. And my answer is it true or false? I wish I could have an interactive session to get your point on it, but in my opinion, it's false. Now, because technology helps you process the number faster, improves the efficiency, but your accounting element, transition to a business advisor, technology would not be able to take that place. And to be honest with you, I've worked with technology platforms that analyze financial statements, and they give suggestions as to what could have gone wrong with the cost or how do you improve your margins. There are tools like that help you make those decisions as an accountant. But I don't think technology is going to replace accounting. I think it's just going to, if we position ourselves properly, technology becomes a tool to help us better do our work and deliver value. Secondly, you hear it a lot that you have to know all the technology tools. So one person says, oh, you have to know Java, Python, R, Power BI, Tableau. You have to know every data analytic tool that's available to the accountant. And I don't think that's completely true. In my experience, what I've seen is that each organization, to be fair, has its own technology tool that they use. And for every organization you go, you have to use different tools. But the underlying element which helps you excel and place yourself as an asset to organization is your ability to learn. You can show that, okay, I've learned Python, so I can also use R, right? I've learned Power BI, so I can also use Tableau because the skills are the same thing and they're transferable. So having a sense of what each of these tools does and how it improves your work is what is the important underlying element. Writing the code for Python is, you can always find the code to write. And once you write the code, you Python data will usually do what you want it to do. So don't focus on trying to learn all the tools. Prioritize which tools you want to learn and learn them, and know that the skills that you're learning is transferable. I heard Favor talking about QuickBook and Sage. Yes, they are transferable, and Wave too. Once you learn one, typically you have a sense of what it looks like, and you're able to use other tools when you find yourself in an organization. Then also you hear that you need certifications. Yes, certification is important. I have a master's, an MBA. My focus in data analytics, I have the certification for data analytics. So it's important for you to have certifications, but don't just go around doing any certification that comes by, you do all sorts of certifications. Try and pick and choose and prioritize so you don't become a jack of all trade and master of none. And then I also hear people say technology is about the future, not the present. And I would like to say that that is false, because right now, technology is the present. It changes every day, and it's important for you to know how technology is going to affect the work that you do and the work that you want to do when you go into the industry, and learn those particular skills that are important. So this is going to be my last slide, because I'm keeping an eye on the time and I really want to engage with you and answer your questions. But here's what I think are the key points from my discussion today. The first one is be willing to learn. I found that when I dived into technology, it was a lot. There's a lot of information, there's a lot of data tools, there's a lot of trend, but I'm willing to learn. I mean, today I can work with Python and tomorrow I can work with R. I just need to put myself in that mindset, that shifting mindset that I can change, identify which tools are important to the work that I do, and then practice it and learn it. Being willing to learn and knowing that you don't know everything about everything is an important skill to have. And then secondly, be willing to adapt. You find that a lot of older accountants who are in this profession are not willing to adapt. They want to use Excel, they want to manually write down their data, they want to calculate, they want to press the calculator and write the number single, when you can do a model that can help you faster processing and correcting some of those errors. So be willing to adapt, right? Be open to change. As you grow, if somebody says, we've been doing this in Excel, do you want to try doing it on Power BI? Take on that challenge and learn how to do it, and try it, and be willing to adapt to improve the work that you do. Next, I want to touch about be willing to network, which is what you're doing in joining this bootcamp today. Identify colleagues, people who possess strong grasp of technology, and seek their guidance. I have a couple of friends that if I'm stuck on a model or I'm stuck on something in Power BI, I can always reach out to them to say, I face the challenge. What do you think? How do you think I should go about it? So have your peers, have your colleagues, have mentors that you look up to who can easily help you transition as you get involved with technology. The fourth point I have is providing insight. Like I mentioned earlier, the role of as an accountant, your role is becoming one of providing insight. So when the data tool you're using analyzes the data, are you able to provide insights, talk about what the data is about, how it relates, what's the predictive value, what do you expect from this data? And that is going to be the value that you bring. So they're like, Angie's not around. When Angie's around, she can provide insight into this data, because anybody can analyze data. Anybody that knows simple math can analyze data. But what additional insights are you bringing into the business from the insights that you've analyzed? Then the next point is developing soft skills. So amongst all of this technology advancement, I believe that there are some soft skills that are still essential in the role that accountants play. And some of them are time management, accuracy, attention to detail, connecting the dots, like I said, interpreting the numbers and the business relationship. What's the relationship between revenue and cost? What's the relationship between marketing and revenue? What's the relationship between profit and cost? So some of those explanations are the value that you're going to bring beyond just analyzing the numbers, beyond just debit and credit. What value, what soft skills are you developing for yourself to help you become a very valuable accountant? And then lastly, leveraging data points. So if I was to suggest, I usually start with Excel, because Excel is materially the fundamental behind every other data tool that has come about. Excel is rows and columns. Every other thing you see, Power BI, R, Python, at the back of it in data analytics is an Excel sheet. So understanding Excel, how the formulas work, is the first step for me in progressing as you look at data analysis and data tools. So some of the things I think that are important is big data and natural language learning. Artificial intelligence, we know, is important. Cloud computing, data visualization, Microsoft Excel, and blockchain. I know you've heard some of these buzzwords before, but really you want to ask yourself is, how does this technology tool relate to me? How does it relate to what I want to do in the future? If you know the sector you want to play in, if you know the sector you're passionate about, if you know the work, if you want to be an auditor, you want to be a tax advisor, you want to work as an SME finance, you want to work at the World Bank as a development finance specialist, then you need to know how each of these data tools apply to you. So for instance, at the World Bank, in pursuing financial inclusion as a developmental goal, I'm looking at how to help create digital identities for forcibly displaced people. So digital identity, in that case, it's not accounting per se, but I know the importance of having a digital ID in terms of your banking information and all of that. So that way, technology plays a role for me in my daily work. So the question is identifying what you want to do and knowing how technology helps you become more productive and add value to your team. And that is where your selling point is going to be as you finish school, as you engage in the market. And so that's what I wanted to start with. And I'm happy to take questions and share from my experience on how you can become a tech-savvy accountant as you go ahead. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Ngozi, NG rather. So I've actually been taking notes, and trust me, all you've said so far is very valuable. I love that you mentioned that we have to understand and learn the data tools to be used for like the different areas of accounts or different areas of finance you'll be going into. So before the session, we had to conduct a poll. We got a couple of questions from the participants. I'll just read out a few for you, and then if there are persons here who is also on the call that want to ask questions, I'll give them the opportunity to do that before we close for call it a night. Yes. So the first question we have here, this is a question from one of the participants, and the person is asking, so Angie, you have actively engaged in the field of accounting and finance since for a long time now. Could you provide insight into the notable development have occurred in the finance space from that time till now? I'm sure the person must have gone through your LinkedIn page. The person is just curious as to what has happened. I'm sure a lot has happened from the time of pencil and paper to the time of Excel. Now everybody's clamoring, we want big data, we want all this. So the person is just being curious, and we'll be glad if you could just provide your insights.
Okay. Yes, let me just answer that briefly because I know a lot of people want to ask questions. For me, like you said, it has transitioned from manual to Excel and all the way to big data. But I think what's really important among this change, all these changes that have occurred, is that you need to know that accounting as a profession has changed. The demand is no more, tell me what the revenue is, or calculate the profit, or what is the tax, like it teaches in school. Do your T table, debit here, credit here, all of that is being changed. Like she said, with QuickBook, you don't even see the debit and credit that goes on behind. You just need to pick the right account and put the right accounting chart. And right now, you see that we're getting to a place where accountants are expected to interpret data, right? And I think that's a significant change that is happening and a skill gap that a lot of us don't have. We learned the IFRS, we learned revenue recognition, but when you come to real life situation in businesses, when there's an investment, they want you to interpret that data and give meaning to that data. So for me, that has been the major change I have seen over the years. At work, we still use Microsoft Excel to run our financial models. So that's why I said Excel is an important tool for any accountant to know. But also you find yourself creating digital identities with machine learning or AI in some situations. So the most important thing is that the profession is evolving, and as you go ahead, you're able to evolve with the trend that is being done and how it affects your kind of work. Don't just go doing everything that everybody is doing. So know how technology affects your line of work and try and learn the technology that affects your work particularly.
Yeah, I think that's like everything, because you need to understand the technology that actually affects your work. And I think that's really up. Thank you very much, NG. So we have another question. So the person is asking, so reflecting on your career journey as a finance professional, an accountant, having studied accounting, could you like share 3 personal strategies that has significantly contributed to your career advancement?
Okay, let me see if I could do 3. For me, I feel like the first thing that contributed to my advancement is, like I said, being willing to learn and adapt, right? I find myself facing challenges on a daily basis, right? And the first thing I do is, oh, okay, I'm doing this Excel, or I have this model to do. Where do I start from? What do I need? What tool can I use? So being passionate about, oh, I can do something to improve my situation. I can do something such that I can finish this model and go home for the weekend and not have to work on it all weekend. So for me, that's really an important thing that's helped me excel in my career, being willing to learn and being able to search out the right technology that can help me. I think secondly, like I said, also having a network of friends that are supportive, right? You don't want to be saying that, oh, I want to do Excel and somebody's telling you, oh, no, use red pen and blue pen and write the numbers and debit and credit. You want to have the right network of people to encourage you in your technology advancement. I think also not being afraid, because disruptive technology is like a big word, it's a buzzword. And once people say, oh, do you know Python? Do you know Java? Do you know R? Do you know Power BI? Your head starts like shaking, like, what are they talking about? But being able to move beyond that fear and being able to say, oh, I can learn this thing. It's not really that complex. Like, put yourself out there, be willing to practice and learn it. I feel like that's what has really helped me, putting that extra effort to learn the skills that I need and practicing it on daily basis until I become good at it. For me, those are things that have really helped me in my career. Thank you. Favor, are you still there?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, NG. I don't know if can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can
All
hear
right,
you now, but I can see. Okay, I can see you now.
all right. Thank you very much. In fact, I'm taking notes, and I'm sure my notepads are filled already. Oh, thank you. I think what you said just really resonates with my thought process, because you should be able to learn, and I think that's the only thing that would help anyone, an accountant, a finance professional, get ahead. Because trust me, things are going to be changing. There will be
Yeah.
introduction of better technology. In fact, there will be better versions, and you must be able to learn. You must be able to keep
Yeah.
evolving yourself to be to in order to fit into the real future of work. Because we think we are actually in the future of work, but there's still a future.
There's a lot.
A
Yeah.
lot going to still happen. Yes. So we have a couple of 2 questions before we conclude. So another person is asking this question. So what would you think? So what is asking, is it possible to niche down as a finance professional? And if yes, what are there benefits of niching down? Let's say you want to just do core infrastructure or project financing, or you just want to do core taxation. So the person is asking, oh, is it possible for you to niche down? And if you can really niche down, are there benefits? Do you have challenges, and person, I think this question is a bit like a three-part question. Person is
Yeah.
also asking, oh, so what are the key consideration for professionals looking to pursue specialization in specific accounting areas? So the person is asking about niching, then he's asking,
Yeah.
oh, what should I look out for if I want
Yeah.
to pursue a particular specialization in accounting? Are there things to look out for?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's the
Yeah.
question.
Okay, so from my experience, I mean, people have different experience in life as they go ahead, but from my experience, I believe that it was vital for me at the first 3 years of my career not to niche down, right? It allowed me to learn across different sectors. It allowed me to learn audit, tax, deal advisory, transaction services, infrastructure, working with private equity clients. So my singular advice, my suggestion would be at the initial stage, maybe the first 3 to 5 years of your career, it's good to have a broad perspective of what's happening across the industry, what's happening across finance. And as you go ahead, you can now niche down if you want, right? Niching down is good. It makes you an expert in a certain thing, but you don't want to be an expert in one thing. And when you have opportunity to do something else, you have no clue about it. So my suggestion is niching down should happen in the mid-level of your career, not at the beginning, because I personally learned from my KPMG experience on my first few years in KPMG. I learned about different sectors. I learned about tax and due diligence and audit, and that broad experience played a key role for me in getting the job that I have now and the jobs that I look forward to getting. So I would not advise niching down at the early stage of your career. I would advise you can niche down at mid stage, become a professional. Now, if you want to if you want to specialize or niche down in, let's say, tax, the things you should first of all pick out is number one, knowing what your strength is, right? If you decide, for instance, that you want to be a tax consultant, then you know you have to know the tax laws. If you decide you want to be a management accountant, then you know that you have to have your IFRS at your fingertips because those come in very handy. So knowing what you want to niche down in and what is essential for you to excel in that career path is very important. Secondly, identify opportunities that are in line with what you want to niche down to. So for instance, if you say you want to become a tax consultant, then what is your future goal? What is your bigger picture? Is it just to calculate tax at the end of the year or tax due diligence on the legal side, right? So first have a bigger picture. So for instance, I want to do development finance, and that's why I'm working with the World Bank. And so I'm thinking about what are the things I need to become an international advisor to the government on international finance, right? So whatever you niche down on, first of all, understand what is important for you to succeed in that role, identify opportunities in that role, and be sure that that is what you want to niche down on, and continue to learn, be ahead of the news on tax, on financial reporting. What is the new standard that's coming out? How does it affect the work I'm going to do? Live in that awareness. Don't just spend all the time that you have playing and chatting away. Spend some time building yourself. Spend some time learning about what is happening in the industry and how the industry is changing in your area of interest. So those are the things I have to share on that point. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. I think being commercially aware would actually help inform the decisions you make as a young accountant to niching down. And I think I like what NG said, because you can't, I think it's too early if you're just fresh out of school and you have maybe about 1 to 2 years working experience. I feel it's too early for you to start thinking about niching down. You need to like get a grasp of, at least you need to broaden your horizon so that when you eventually want to niche down, you have an understanding of what exactly you're trying to niche down your career to. Thank you very much for that, Ngozi.
Yeah,
NG. Oh, sorry.
that's fine.
All right. So another question. We have a couple of questions on the in the chat box, but I'll just read one person specifically addressed to you. Then we just look at the chat box. So another person is asking, so can you provide insights into the interconnectedness and relationship between the field of accounting, finance, investment banking, and infrastructure? I'm sure the person is wondering, oh, is there a relationship? How can you have studied accounting? You're telling us project finance, you're telling us developmental finance. So is there like a relationship? What's like the interconnectedness? Person is just curious and would like your insight on that, ma.
Okay. So, I mean, remind me of, I'm going to talk about the ones I had, then remind me of the ones I've missed out. So, here's my understanding, right? We studied accounting in school, and accounting is about debit, credit, reporting on the business performance, on how you're working internally within an organization to help the management of that organization understand their finances, their profitability, their efficiency, and that is accounting, right? When you come to the world of finance, you're talking about debt and equity. How do you provide lending to a business? How do you how do you make investment in another company? How do you handle mergers and acquisition? Those are external to a business. So in accounting, your role and your obligation is to management. In finance, your role and your obligation is the private equity or the investor that has hired you to advise them on the valuation, on the capital market, on debt and equity, and all those financial instruments. So when you get to finance, you're talking about specific financial instruments that you're using to make decisions, and your role is to the investor. Accounting, your role is to the management, the shareholders. How is my money? How is revenue growing? How are we efficient? What is our cost? What is our profit? All of that is accounting. Now, the other question was what? On what's the other point?
Okay, so the first, infrastructure finance, project finance.
Okay, so project finance is usually in situations whereby a group of a consortium, different people, you have an investor, you have a bank, you have different people who want to put in money in a structure, in a project. And I'll use a different, infrastructure finance is a type of project finance. So we want to build Lekki Toll Gates. We have the sponsor, we have the government, we have the constructor, we have the contractor, you have all of these people coming together, and you're building a model to show them how each of their contributions into that project will be financed. So project finance is self-sustaining. The money you make from the people bringing money to the project generates money, and you share the money to all the people that are supposed to get their money. In simple terms, that's what project finance is. So infrastructure finance is only a type of project finance. And I think I learned it as I went ahead in my career that I had to move beyond accounting. I didn't want to do accounting and auditing and task. I learned all of that, but for me, it became monotonous. Like every time it's the same financial statement I'm analyzing. So I wanted to diversify, and that's why I went into finance, and my career has evolved from there. But I have friends that are doing so well in the accounting role, and their career path as an accountant is to be a CFO, right? A career path of a finance professional is to be an advisor to the investor, right? So knowing what you want to do kind of informs what direction you go. If you want to be a CFO, you're in line to be a CEO, you're in that line, then you're looking at your accounting track. And if you want to be a consultant, an advisor to somebody who is making an investment, then you're looking at more into the finance area. So that's the simplest way I can explain the difference and the relationship between all of these keywords that we hear.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. I thank you very much, because I know I was having a conversation with a friend, and the person was saying, "Oh, I think accounting is monotonous. You keep doing the same thing over and over again." Well, I think I was able to make the person understand that I think accounting is just the basics you need, right? Accounting is evolving, so you might end up studying accounting, but then you discover that, oh, you want to go into investment banking, you want to go into project finance, but we still have that same, like say, the same foundation, because it just gives you the opportunity or the wings to act. Because when you now go into those various sectors, into those various industry, it's more easier to integrate because you already have a background in accounting. So thank you very much. We really
just to add to that, as you become an accountant, if your line is a CFO line, right? You're trying to be a CEO within an organization. You're also becoming a sector expert. So if you're a CFO in a retail business, you understand the retail sector. If you're a CFO in an automotive industry, you understand the supply chain of how they build cars. So being an accountant is not monotonous, except you refuse to learn and refuse to adapt. But as you go ahead, you see that you're not just doing debit and credit. You're also understanding the supply chain. Who do we buy from? You learn negotiation. How do I get the best pricing for my organization, right? You get some of those insights that become important as you go ahead. So accounting is not monotonous. It's not boring. It's about how you're able to learn and adapt and see the positive side of your career progression as you go ahead.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sure we're taking notes. I'm sure we're taking notes because for people that think, because you know, when we're in school, for people that in Nigeria that go to school, we're also focused on, oh, let's just get this balance sheet done. Let's get this balance sheet, balance the account. But you should understand that with the help of technology, things are changing, and that's why you must constantly open your mind, be open-minded. For Angie, for example, started off her career in the deal advisory section, advising, but now she has more like moved, to another area, but it's still finance. And the knowledge she has gained over those years of working in deal advisory is actually helping her succeed in this current role. So one more question from the questions people sent in earlier, then we take the other questions in the chat box. So somebody's asking, what are common mistakes young accountants? What common mistakes should young accountants avoid? And if you could go back in time, what specific actions or decisions would you consider doing differently for your professional growth?
Okay, I'm one of the few people that like to admit that I don't have any regrets in a way in terms of my career. So first of all, I think the first part of the question is more about Favor, can you repeat the first question for me?
All right. So the person is asking, what common mistakes should young accountants avoid?
Okay. So for me, the first mistake is that in pursuing our accounting degree and being a chartered accountant, I don't use the word cram. We cram the IFRS standards. We cram how do you debit and credit without really understanding the dynamics of how those things work in real life. So focusing so much on the theory, which is not really our fault because we have to pass our exam and we are in an academic system. But oftentimes I find that young accountants theorize accounting so much. We focus on the debit, the credit, the principles, and we are not able to talk about how this relates in real world or how this relates in real life. So that's the first mistake I find. And I think to correct that mistake, as you're solving the accounting question that you have, think about how does this apply in real life, right? If I had a real life situation, what will it look like? And then the second thing, I feel like we are not, maybe also because of the limitations of being in the Nigerian educational system, we don't have exposure to the news and real life situations. So for instance, when I studied in my MBA, they'll give us case studies about real life. Like in Nigeria, I found that like my exam questions were manufactured by my professor, literally. Like you just write a question down. But in my MBA, I realized that they give you real life case studies that have occurred in businesses, the entire concept of it. And that kind of gives you a different perspective as to when somebody asks you, okay, how does your accounting profession or IFRS, how does it relate in real life? How are financial instruments related in real life? And you start with, according to IFRS 9, financial instruments are blah, 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 blah. They're like, what are you saying? They're asking about like, how do financial instruments work in the stock market in Nigeria, right? And you don't have that answer because you've only learned the IFRS standard of it. So for me, that mistake of theorizing everything and not having the practical insight is a mistake a lot of young accountants make. And I want you to pass your exam. I want you to focus on the principles and passing your exam, but I also want you to touch base on how can I practicalize this thing? How do I use this knowledge that I've learned in real life situation? And then in my career, one of the things I would say, two things actually. One is that I should have learned my Microsoft Excel earlier. I know it now, right? But Microsoft Excel skills, financial modeling was something that it's an important element of my career anywhere I go. Even at the World Bank, like even looking at any business, your financial modeling skill has to be top notch next to your debit and credit principle. So financial modeling is an important element that I wish I had learned earlier. I learned it while I was in KPMG, but I wish I had learned it earlier. And secondly, also networking is also a key important area. in my career that I think if I had put in more effort earlier, it would have gone a long way. So those are the two things I would like to flag. I mean, I've learned so many things as I've transitioned in my career, but those are the two things I think are important, and that has made me stand out amongst my peers, networking, and also, learning some of these skill sets early on to position myself better.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I think I like that you mentioned financial modeling because it's quite will I say sad because throughout my days in school, I don't think I had to interact with financial models until I came out and I discovered that we really need to. I really needed to learn how to build a financial model, and I started learning. So it's something that we should really, make mention of learning all these skills and learning them quite early in your career journey or your career trajectory will really go a long way. So at this point, we'll just take some questions from the chat box, and I'm sure we're running out of time already. So we have a couple of questions. So the first person, Sharp Code, is saying, but now, okay, he said, I studied science laboratory technology, but now I am fully committed to finance. I am now a FMVA, that I think financial modeling valuation analyst,
Valuation analyst.
yeah, and be that as business intelligence data analyst certified. Lots more of certification to become more credible. There is, I think, Sharp Code. I think you can just unmute yourself so that I don't misinterpret your question, so that you get to just ask the question. If it's something you're comfortable with, I would unmute you. You could just unmute yourself and just speak so that we can understand your question. Are you still on the call? On the call, rather.
Yes, I am on the call.
All right. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you very much for putting this together. Yes. So my question is, I studied science laboratory technology from the University of Benin. So, but right now I'm transitioning into finance. So, I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yes,
can hear you.
Okay.
you
So
can.
my question is, right now I'm FMVA, that's the financial modeling and valuation
Mm-hmm.
analyst, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, business intelligence as well. So there are lots of certifications to get to become more credible, like the ICANN,
Mm-hmm.
then the CFA.
Mm-hmm.
So I just there's also CFA as well. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to know, like, how do I progress? Like, which one would be better to start with first?
Yeah.
How do I progress along and not model things up? I don't want to be in a situation where I model things up.
Yeah.
I want to learn so many things at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. Thanks so much, Shapo, for that question. So the first thing I'd like to say is that it depends on where you're going. Like I mentioned earlier, where you want to go. So if you want to go into finance, which is you want to go into investments, you want to talk about debt and equity, you want to go into capital structures, you want to work in private equity, investment banking, you're towing that finance line, then I would say CFA is a valuable experience for you because it's more finance inclined. You get exposure, and it's an internationally recognized certification for people that want to go into the finance line. Now, people that want to go into audit task line, who want to become CFOs, who want to become CEOs, ICANN, ACCA, it's more recognized in that space. So how I like to look at it, for every time I wanted to make a decision on my career, I look for a job description, or I look for a mentor, or whoever's role I want to take, or whoever I see as my future self doing the future job that I like, that's going to pay the money that I want. I look at the person's profile, kind of get a glance of what has this person done that has prepared the person for this position. So instead of doing both things at the same time, you can actually do CFA and eventually do ACA if you want. You can do, it doesn't mean, but if you want to start in the finance line, which I understand that you want to do, the CFA is more recognized in finance, in investment banking, in that situation. So that depends on how you want to go. For someone like me, that I want to become an advisor, I'm going into strategy, advising government, I'm looking at, getting into international finance. It's a different line. CFA is not a material element to me in my career, right? So it depends on where you're going and how you want to get there and who you're looking up to. But I think if you're going into finance, you want to work on Wall Street, you want to go into investment banking, that's your goal, then CFA is the right place to work. I'm happy to, discuss further. If you want offline, you can talk to Favor about it, but that's what I have to say on the topic at the spot.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right. I hope you're clear now. And of course,
Yes,
I would
I'm
also
very
drop her LinkedIn. Can you hear me? Sharp code.
yes, I can,
All right.
ma'am.
I would also drop the LinkedIn URL so you can feel free to connect with her on LinkedIn if you have further questions. So I think we have two more questions here. So somebody's asking, Elizabeth is asking, um, I studied economics in school. I developed interest in accounting. I'm currently taking a diploma course in financial accounting. However, it's mainly the basics, which is trial balance, balance sheet, and the likes. Should I continue with the basics, although I had a few elective accounting courses in school, or should I concentrate more on learning how to use accounting softwares? I am a beginner.
Okay, so I see the question. So our economics brothers and sisters are very close to our hearts in this accounting journey. We always have the same classes with them, but I think what is important is, like you said, you're developing interest in accounting. And just like I told Sharp, it depends on really depends on where you see your career going or where you want to go. Now, economics and accounting are very related, and even as an accountant, I have to discuss macroeconomic events and how they affect my accounting and my clients and my investment. So your knowledge of knowledge of economics comes in very well as an accountant and complements the skills you're learning in accounting. But what I wanted to say also is that if you're looking at becoming international, right? If you want to leave Nigeria, you want to, gain some international exposure, then the ACA is more internationally recognized than the ICANN. Now, if you see yourself adding value more in Nigeria, then ICANN is a good place to start. But I would usually prefer, if you can, to do ACCA because it's more internationally recognized. But the both of them have the same exposure and they use the same thing. The same principles that you learn, and both are critical. Now, should you concentrate more on learning accounting software? I think Favor can answer that question. But I learned accounting software because when I graduated from school and I wanted to make extra money by the side, in addition to my work in KPMG, I used to build accounting database for SMEs, small businesses. So I learned QuickBook, I learned Wave Accounting, how to set it up and how to advise business. So it can become a side hustle for you. So it's also good for you to learn that because you can also use that to generate income for yourself as an accountant. How to prepare tax report, file taxes, and all of that. You can do that as an add-on in terms of like additional business and services you can offer. I also used to do financial models and build pitch books for SMEs that wanted to raise money. So some of those things are like add-ons that are also good for you to know and to have and to learn. So my goal would be understand a little bit better where you're going and how you want to get there. If you want to learn these things by the side, it's also good and helpful to you in your career as you go ahead. So I hope I've answered your question. If not, please feel free to unmute and clarify the question as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Elizabeth Abba, I don't know if you're clear on this, but trust me, accounting software should be, yeah, you should learn accounting software. It's very essential, but everything NG has said is really correct because learning accounting software is just like you're trying to get something by the side. There is actually more to accounting, and that's why you need to constantly look out for these opportunities. You need to constantly look out for these trends so that you're not left behind. Accounting software is a nice thing to learn, it's a nice to have, but of course there will be more to learn. And as you keep asking yourself these questions, or what is it to learn, what is accounting moving to, what is my interest exactly, as you keep asking yourself these questions, you get the much desired clarity you want. So someone is asking this question, which is quite simple. However, I think the person just wants clarification. So what is a financial model? What is financial
Okay.
modeling?
Okay. So I'm sorry. Fortunately, as accountants, we like to use all these buzzwords, like make it look like stuff.
Yeah.
So essentially, the way that you have financial statements, historical financial statement that have revenue, costs, all your profit lines. A financial model is a forecast into the future. So you can do a 5-year financial model. What would you have the financial statement as at today, and you say, okay, what would this business look like in 5 years, in 10 years? And all you're doing is forecasting each of those financial lines. So you have your revenue, you say, okay, revenue is going to grow by 5% because of inflation. What is it going to look like in the next 5 years? So essentially you are forecasting, projecting into the future what this business is going to look like. That's what financial model is about. Yes, there are different types of financial modeling. There's financial modeling that you want to do for valuation. So you can say at the end of the day, this business is worth 2.5 billion in the next 10 years. There's financial model that is for operations. So you want to construct a railway and you want to do how do I go from operating this railway to building it to making the railway profitable. So financial modeling is about forecasting, essentially. That's what it is. Forecasting using the current or historical numbers that you have to project what the business is going to look like in the future. That's what it is in its simplest term. And then you can build a financial model, which is the numeric representation of a certain situation. You can build it in Excel, you can build it in R, you can build it in Python, you can build it in Power BI. You can build it in each of these tools that I've mentioned. Any of these tools can build a model for you. You just need to find out which one works well for you to meet the need that you want to meet in your model. And then I see the last question from Onyechi. I could just take that alongside.
Okay.
So I did an internship in KPMG before I got a job in KPMG. And for me, their requirement was you have to have at least 2-1 in your bachelor's degree course while you're still in school. I think you can do an internship from your third year. You have to apply early for the internship opportunity that they have. For me, what was really important is also ICANN. ICANN was an important role. Either you were on a path to do ICANN or you are already registered for ICANN or ACCA or one of those professional examinations. Those things also give you an edge. And information is usually public. KPMG, PwC, EY, Deloitte, they all publish their internship. It's usually March, April that they do the applications, and then the internship period starts June, July, August, September, as the case may be. So keep an eye on their website, follow them on social media. They usually post when their internship becomes available. But I think it's a very good opportunity to see how these things you learn in school work in real life situations. And that's one thing I learned from my internship experience as well. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Ngozi. So just to add to the question you asked, Tidima, I think so. So I'll be sharing materials with you on how you can build like a material that has helped me, a course I took that has helped me understand what financial modeling is all about, and it's quite very simple. So after this call, I would send it to the WhatsApp group so that you can actually take your time to study these materials on how to build a financial model for startups for different industries. I'm sure you find that material really helpful. So at this point, I don't know if you can take one more question and wrap
Yes,
up.
I can.
All right, thank you so much, Ngozi. So we have the last question for today. So somebody is asking, person is saying that she wants to take a career break, that she's currently an accountant and she wants to take a career break. And she's in between, oh, should I use this career break to just like think about my life to know, oh, what area I want to go into next, or should she go for an MBA? So we know that you have an MBA, you have ICANN, and we just like your thoughts on it.
Okay, that's a very complex question. So first of all, you want to take a career break. I hope you have a way of paying your bills, which is the most one of the most important reasons as to why we are working. All of us are hustling and working because we want to pay our bills. But taking a career break, I can understand because work can be very can add a lot of pressure to life, and it's okay for your health, for your mental health, if you want to take a few months off work to rest, to rejuvenate, to think about what you want to do next. So as much as you need a break, please, by all means, take a break. And things are going to recoup when you come back. Things are not going to go out of the world because you took a career break. So it's okay for you to take a career break. Regarding an MBA, it's not a short answer because I have people ask me, should I do an MSc in finance or should I do an MBA? What is the difference between the both of them? When's the right time to do an MBA? So that's a whole big conversation on its own. But here's my thought on it. First of all, I went to do an MBA because I had some work experience, and I felt like MBA was the next step for me to take on managerial roles, and MBA was important for me. And when I looked at the difference between an MBA and an MSc, essentially the difference is that when you do an MBA, a Master's in Business Administration, you have a chance to focus on certain sectors. So you can do an MBA with a focus in data analytics, you can focus in strategy, you can focus in supply chain finance, you can focus in different things, right? If you do an MSc in finance, then your focus is on finance specifically. And I usually say MSc finance is important for people who don't have accounting or finance background, essentially. Those are the differences I see between the MBA and the MSc in finance. Both of them are good, all depends on where you're heading. And then also, I think it's important to know that you need some years of experience before you go for an MBA, because after your MBA, you don't want to come back and start from ground zero, right? But you want to have some years of experience. So you know that when I'm going for an MBA, this is what I want to do with the MBA when I graduate, and this is how the MBA is going to help me. Don't just go and do an MBA because everybody is doing an MBA and it sounds like a good idea. Know how an MBA is going to affect your career projection going forward. So I did an MBA in data analytics because I wanted to learn those technological skills. I wanted to learn blockchain technology, and that's why I did an MBA, and that's what my focus and my final year project was around: blockchain technology and financial services. So take a career break if you want, prioritize to see what is valuable to you and where's your career going as much as possible. And hopefully, I wish you well, that you make the right decision as you go ahead. I hope I've answered your question, though.
Yes. Thank you, NG. Because I know many people are always asking this question. Oh, is it an MSc? Is it an MBA? Oh, there are lots of things to do. But I think it's just all dependent on where you're going to, and that is why as you keep progressing your journey, you just have to keep asking questions. The best. An adage says the best experience to learn from. It doesn't have to be your own experience, right?
Yes.
Learn from other person's experience. So I want to believe that NG has answered all the questions. I hope you've been able to get value from these sessions. I'm sure if we give more opportunity for more questions, we will not leave here tonight. And I really want everybody to go back to their respective activities. But at this point, we'll be drawing the curtains now. I don't know if we have more questions from the pool. Are you open to taking more questions? Because
I'm open till 4. I think I'm open till the next 20 minutes. I can take more questions. Happy to help. I mean, you're all awake, and so it means that this is really important to you. So I'm happy to answer the questions that you have and share from my experience as much as possible. Favor, please grant them access to ask their question.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So we have another question here. And I think you've answered it. I think you've answered the question. So somebody's asking, could you, person's asking question that in the light of the recent wave of technological advancements such as ChatGPT, AI, RPA, in the accounting field and other field, what advice would you offer finance professionals to ensure that they continue to remain relevant in the evolving landscape? I think you've touched on that.
Yes, I started with that, and it's also a good place to end. The whole of the summary of all of this that we're saying is technology is playing a key role in transforming the work that we do. So as an accountant, you need to know that your role is moving beyond reporting on the number and saying this is what profit is, this is what profit after tax is, to providing business insights to the business. So you can say, this is what we did last year. This is where we need to improve our efficiency. This is where we need to channel our marketing efforts. So those kind of insight is what is expected from you. You can use predictive tools. You can use, I don't advise you to use ChatGPT to give suggestions to your management on what is going to happen in the future, but leverage some of these tools to be able to add value and discuss business insights. So that is the shift that is occurring in our career. And looking at accounting profession, not just locally within Nigeria, but look at the value you can add as an accountant globally, right? You can be an accountant and they hire you to come and do a project in Lebanon. How are you going to advise them? What has climate change got to do with accounting and the nature of the business that you do and the financing structure that you're putting together? So knowing that, okay, these tools exist, I can use these tools as head start but I'm not going to copy and paste what the outputs that this tool has given me into my report, or cram what the output has been and then pour it out when I go for an interview. But knowing that big data is there, I need to analyze big data. My organization is going to get large amount of data, and I need to have the right tool set to use this data, analyze this data. I think that's what's really important. And the value, how you're able to discuss, how you're able to communicate, how you're able to present the data in graphs, in pictures, in ways that help people understand what is actually going on within the business from an overview standpoint. That is the value that you have as an accountant. So that's how I would like to answer the question. Know that technology is not going to overtake us as accountants all of a sudden, but we need to prepare for that change, and we need to become, I call it, trusted business advisors. You need to become a trusted business advisor and not just an accountant for you to survive in this technology advanced world.
Wow, you need to become a trusted business advisor. I think we have to just write that down and keep staring at it every day as you go to work, as you show up in the office, as a tax consultant. You need to become a trusted, because you'll be advising. The role of an accountant should not just be record keeping. You should be able to advise them on, oh, this is what to do to make more money, this is how you can cut your costs. So it's basically, accountants should be switching from accounting to advisory. So you're an advisor, you're a consultant. Businesses who are relying on the information you have to give, stakeholders, investors. So you should be able to look beyond the surface and delve deep into understanding the business and how you can provide reliable information. So I think at this point we'll draw the curtain. We'll just share the LinkedIn URL on the chat so you can connect with Ngozi. She's a really amazing person. Trust me. I'm really excited that we got her to speak despite her busy schedule. If you I know more questions are still coming, but please, you can reach out to her.
Favor, if I could just comment briefly. So when you reach out to me on LinkedIn, please let me know that we met at this financial bootcamp, so I can know where I connected with you, and we can take it from there. So please remember to put the name of this bootcamp in the chats on LinkedIn so that we can talk from there. I see that a lot of questions. Favor, you can send me the questions. I can respond on WhatsApp, and you can post it in the group chat, as the case may be. But thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. I'm an advocate for making we Nigerians to be globally competitive talent, to look beyond the Nigeria educational system and the challenges that we face, and see how we can add value to the world in general. And that's what we are here for. So happy to help as you go along your journey. Happy to answer any questions and provide insights as much as I can. I wish you all the best as you wrap up your school year and your academic career and also your professional career. It's not easy, but it's going to be worth it at the end of the day. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please, thank you. Let's just say our thank you, a virtual thank you. Thank you, and you have a good day ahead. Bye.
Thank you.
Hope to see you in subsequent sessions of the bootcamp.
Yes, people, we need to connect separately.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Have
Bye.
a great day ahead. Bye.
Bye.
Hi people. Oh my god, this 8:35 already. And I really can't thank you all enough. Thank you for joining. I know we had difficulties letting people in. I actually thought I could let people in. I actually thought they were already inside the meeting, but unknowingly I did not grant them permission. So a lot of persons were complaining that, oh, I'm not yet in. Don't worry, the recording will be available and you can always listen. And trust me, I just want to share this. This is a secret information, right? So very persons, when it comes to building their career, first of all, they are scared. They say, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. But LinkedIn actually is an avenue for you to do a lot of things. There are a lot of possibilities you can achieve on LinkedIn. I got to connect with Ngozi on LinkedIn. Trust me, sending her a message was like, oh my God, will she reply? Oh my God, she's in the World Bank. Will she have my time? She's so busy. But I just decided that what's the going to cost me? My data. That's all. I have data. If she says no, fine, we move, right? And I decided to just reach out to Ngozi. I'm doing this. I want you to just come and speak to the people. And she was like, to my greatest surprise, like I wasn't even expecting it. She just said yes. And I'm like, wow. Wow, are you serious? And she gave me her WhatsApp contact, and we've been in communication since then. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because as an accountant, I want you to start looking globally. Unless you don't want to leave the country, unless you just want to be a maybe a local champion working in an anko, favor anko. If you are looking to, expand your career as a finance person, as an accountant, you should also work on the quality of your network. There are opportunities out there, and the information you have, right, is totally is what will take you to the next phase of your life. Somebody was asking about financial modeling, and I was like, hey, God, this question is so simple. But then, do you know that I never heard of financial modeling until I left school? And my friend just said, people were building financial models in our office. I'm like, eh? SOP, what did you say? What is financial modeling? I went to check Google and I'm like, shit. So people can sit down, build a financial model, and they are paid millions of naira. I'm not even going to lie. I have a friend on my WhatsApp status. He's always intimidating us. Oh, I just built this model. I pay. You make money. This our brain. You should be able to use your head to generate money, and that is what I wanted to share in the monetizing your accounting skills. Accounting skill is something that I know you can make money from literally. So the first time I knew that you can actually make money from accounts was when I went for a stock keeping. So somebody just reached out to me, oh, Favor, you're an accountant. I want to know the number of stocks I have in my warehouse. I just need this account and just help me put it in the software. And I'm like, okay, how much do you want? How much? Person told me the amount. I said, yeah, this is how much you are collecting. And I'm sure the person told me that amount because the person felt I was like an upcoming, I'm not yet, I'm upcoming accountant, and the person paid me that small. But just imagine I presented myself as a chartered accountant, I have this experience. The person was going to pay like times 4 or 5 of that amount. So why am I telling you all these stories? First of all, I know we have a couple of people that are still in school on this call, a couple of people that are probably recent graduate, people are just working. Start working on your skills. You can start from Excel. There are lots of free resources. Like, don't let your accounting degree to waste unless you've made up your mind that, oh, accounting is not for me, I don't want to do accounting should stay on Zoom. But if you know that you still have that burning desire to further practice accounting, then you should be working on your skill. We're supposed to have like a financial modeling training, but trust me, we cannot even learn financial modeling in one day. If we are to do a 24 hours, like I bring the guy and he's to teach us for the full 24 hours, it will not be enough to explain everything you need to know about financial modeling. And that's why I said I was going to share a material with us. It's a YouTube video. I think it has about 4 or 5 videos or thereabout, but you can sit down with this video and understand. Ngozi mentioned that she was working in a big four and she was still building financial models for other people. Normally, working in a big four, actually, you're paid well. Just imagine you're working in a big four and you still have something you can do in your spare time to give you extra source of income, right? You still have the how you should understand how an accounting software can run. So you can just set up for a business. I've had to like set up an accounting software for a business, even without being physically there. We did everything online. I trained his staff. I gave him this access to the software. His staff were now like imputing the figures. I've had to do like bank reconciliation for another business. I just did the bank reconciliation, and these are the ways we should we should think as accountants. Should be thinking, oh, what can I learn today that will give me money? We've talked about 3 things. We talked about accounts. Accounting is on its own. There is investment banking. You can just take out your time one day, research about investment banking. What do they do? Where do they work? What is it all about? What skills do they need? What certification do they need? There is finance. There is World Bank. You can go to World Bank page and say, oh, who's World Bank? I say, so somebody can actually, a Nigerian like me, black skin like me, can actually work in the World Bank. What is the talent people in World Bank? What kind of talent do they seek for when they are calling for application? So I don't want us to limit ourselves to just one thing. I want us to constantly evolve ourselves, unless you just want to be a local champion. So I don't know, but we will just go back to our software class. and I just show you a couple of things. I know that that's a whole lot of things to do. It's quite a lot, and I'm sure we're not able to touch on everything, but I'll be able to like show you a few things. At least you now understand how to, all those things we did initially was called creating a company profile in QuickBooks. So sometimes you get into an organization, they already have the profile, they are already subscribed to QuickBooks, but you can get into an organization and they're expecting you as their accountant to help them set up that QuickBooks, right? So it's two ways. So for organizations that already have the QuickBooks running, the entering transaction, you don't have to go through all this route of choosing an email address, putting phone numbers. You just ask them for their login details and you continue. But for people that want to start using a software, they are tired of Excel, they're tired of using pen and paper, you can take them through all this process of creating a new profile for them. So I think I'll just show us some things briefly on QuickBooks, and then by 9 p.m. we'll call it a night. And of course, concerning the recording, let me just say this. So the recording will be available. However, there are two criteria for you to get this recording. It's not a big deal. First of all, you must have attended one of the sessions. So you don't come and ask us for recording when you know you did not even show up. It means that you were not interested in participating in the session. So if you know you attended the session, be rest assured that you're going to get the recording. And then we have a survey form. So basically just to say, this is what you learned, because we would like to give the facilitators feedback. Look at what this person said, or look at what the students are saying. They said that this, that. So I'll send out the form. Once you fill the form, we'll work on the recording to make it accessible to you, and we'll be available. So guys, what do you think? Should we continue with the software class, or should we just close and call it a night? I just want to see your comments. Should we continue? Are you tired? Are you on? Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Please, can someone just type? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So I can see. Okay, I can see. So please remind me, everybody's going to have access to the financial modeling. In fact, I'm going to send you materials, I'm going to send you videos, so everybody will have access to it. Learn financial modeling. You see that skill? That skill alone can make you millions. I'm not exaggerating. I have senior colleagues that tell me, I built, how much did you charge for this modeling, for this model? 1.5 million. And I'm like, people, where are you? Like, and they will build this model highest 3 days, 4 days, they are done. What is a model? I wish I could show you. Let me show you what a model looks like. Let me check if I can open one I built. Not like it's very fine, but so that you see, for those that have not really seen any financial model. I really pray I find it. Just wait, let me show you so that you can see. Oh God. I'm coming. I just want to show you so that you can see what it's not hard. Once you know accounting, trust me, financial model, you can sleep and wake up and do it. So I'm trying to open one now so that you can just see, so that for people that are on this call that have never seen a model, you can just understand. You're just trying to predict, you're trying to value a business. I'm trying to open one now. Just pray it opens. Just give me a few minutes, please, so that you can see this thing. What is this model? Make sure. Actually, I still have it. I'm coming, guys. I'm trying to look for it. In fact, I have a lot of materials on financial modeling. If you tell yourself that between now and let's say December, you just want to understand how to build a model, even if it's not going to be so awesome, you would be able to. Is this model even correct? So I'll just share my screen. I'm not teaching you financial modeling, so that you don't assume I'm teaching you for the financial modeling. Just for you, so that you can have an more like insight into what a financial model is. So I'll just share my screen now. Then we'll go straight up to our accounting software. So this is a model, even though it's a baby model, if there's anything like that. So this is a model, right? I don't know if you can see. So basically, it's as simple as this. It's as simple as this. So basically, what a model does is that this particular model is a model for a business, a business that wants to go into she wants to go into producing, selling, not producing, selling baby clothes, male and female clothes. So basically, what this thing does is that you're just trying to use assumptions to predict the performance in different for different period. I'm not a financial modeling expert or a financial modeling pro or a financial modeling tutor, but I'm just trying to tell you that building financial model is not difficult. And if you're in accounting, all these terms are not new to you. Let me show you. They are not new to you. Cost of sales, revenue, price, operating expense, salary, all these things are not new to you. Just that because account is no longer copy and paste, you now have to think. So if somebody reaches out to you and say, oh, we need a model for 3 years on this so and so business, you don't just say, oh, I think in the next 3 years your revenue will be 500,000. You have to think and ask yourself, what assumption can I use that is feasible to arrive at this amount? How many pieces of dress should we sell that would arrive at this revenue? So this is what a startup would call you to do. You design this. How many pages is this? Although it can be more complex, right? It can be more complex, but you design all these things and they'll pay you a lot of money. Your revenue at the end. So they want to see, oh, by 2024, your revenue should be 396 million. By 2025, your revenue should have increased to this, and so many other things. So financial modeling is not hard. And if you're a finance person, an accountant, just think of it. If you don't have time to learn it today or learn it this year, put it at the back of your mind that this is something I need to learn in this my journey. Either I'm going to work in the World Bank or in multinational, this is something I need to have in my arsenal of soft skills. So quickly, we'll just go to our accounting software class so that we can wrap up and everybody can go home. So I'll share my screen. We're in QuickBooks, right? I think we're in QuickBooks. I was trying to show you Sage. Should we go to Sage? So Sage is not, is Sage, why I actually brought up Sage is so that you understand that Sage actually is not difficult. It's not different from what you have in QuickBooks. So you look at now, is this not the same thing with what we have in QuickBooks? No, I'm not interested in setting up. Oh God, I don't want to set up anything. Oh, I don't want. Let's go back to no, accept recommended setting. Sorry, we have to do all this initial because we're trying to set it up here. But the goal of what slide is open now? So the goal of everything is just to ensure that you understand. So this is how Sage is, but let's focus on QuickBooks. But I want to believe that you understand what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is that once you've learned a particular software, you can apply it to what every other software. That is why I had to open Sage. So for the people saying, oh, Sage is this, Sage is that, Sage is that, this is it, and it's still the same thing with QuickBooks. So I need more time. So let's just quickly do some settings here. So this is AZ Limited. You can see they've signed me out. Was it Z Limited I used? Oh God. Oh, okay, guys. Did I copy the password? I don't think I copied the password. Did I save it? Okay. I just pray this works because I know I did not save that password. Okay, thank God. So we're back to AZ Limited. So I'll teach you 5 things or 3 things how you can customize your QuickBooks Online, how you can add suppliers, add creditors, and then we will just call it a night. So this is your QuickBooks Online. If you want to change anything that has to do with this company on this particular software, you just have to come to this gear button here. So there is like a gear button here. This is where you can do all your changes, any change you want to effect in the QuickBooks profile. You can do it here. You can do it here. Let me go. Oh, we are still seeing dashboard of Excel of Sage. Sorry, I have to share my screen so that you guys can now see the QuickBooks. Okay. Sorry, guys. Let me just admit we have a couple of persons that were indicating interest to join the meeting. So back to our QuickBooks. Why is it? So back to our QuickBooks, right? So this is how it is. This is like the details of the business. In case you want to sign out, you can just come here to sign out. Then we have a gear button here, which is the setting. So if you want to change anything that has to be with your account and setting, remember when I was talking about QuickBooks, I said that one thing about cloud accounting software is that it helps you what collaborate. So for example, in the accounting department, you have the CFO, right? You have the accountant, chief accountant, you have the accounting intern or something. So you can actually allow multiple users to use this particular accounting software. And where to do it is by coming to this place where you have manage users. You can add users, you can add your accountant, you can add the CEO and every other thing. Then for this custom form styles, because QuickBooks can be used for a service business, it can be used for a product-based business. So for example, for accounting firms that they render services, you don't expect them to, they don't produce anything, right? But you, from time to time, you may be needing to create invoice. If you remember our accounting circle, how does transaction occur? Transaction occurs when from the seller side, that is, if the organization is actually selling, it means that they would have to raise invoice, because invoice is an evidence that transaction has taken place. Then when the customer pays, you now issue a receipt to the customer, meaning that the customer is no longer owing you, the customer has paid. So that is how it flows. So for example, you want to you do a service or you sell a product. AZ Limited sells a product to a customer. How would you do it? You have to first of all raise an invoice, send the invoice to the customer. Then if the person is paying, you what send the receipt to the customers. So you also have charts of accounts. So chart of accounts simply is like the different account head in your financial statement. So let's say you have a special expense called logistics expense, and you go and you check your QuickBooks dashboard and you're not seeing anything that can fit into that criteria. Oh, for transportation, you can just create a chart of account. And for list, you have product and services, attachment. You can import data, you can export data, you can reconcile. So you can reconcile your bank statement and your QuickBooks Online bank statement. You can also budget, do your budgeting. It can also help you to audit to a reasonable extent. Although this auditing is not very in-depth, because you still require a professional to look at it, right? So what this audit log does is that it just looks at the transaction. Anything it feels that, oh, it's not right or it was not properly entered, it should just highlight it and flag, so that whoever the auditor is can just look at it. So we're just going to show you how you can create an invoice. So we'll create an invoice, would create a customers, right? Would assume that AZ Limited purchased some raw materials and they sold these raw materials. So that's what we're going to do. And yeah, so that's, and maybe I'll just show you how you can create charts of account. Remember, whenever you are implementing an accounting software for a new business, you have to start from the scratch by putting logo, doing all these things. But if it's an already existing business, that means there are chances that these businesses must have had financial transactions from time past. And you see this place where you have import data, you just go and you can see. Can you see it? You can see. So if you want to import the bank data of previous years, maybe from the business started in 2019. So from 2019 down to August 2023, you just click on the bank data and automatically you import it. If you want to import your customers, if you want to import your charts of account, if you want to import even your financial statement, there is a way you can import it on QuickBooks. So I'll just show you how you can create a form, show you how you can add customers, and create invoice, record receipts, and we just have something we can look at in our financial statement. So you see how the financial statement is like. So quickly, let's say we want to customize our invoice. So this is our invoice. So you can actually just come here. QuickBooks has given you the opportunity to select the way it's going to look. So there are different templates. There is Airy. Just be looking at this part of my screen as I move. So there's Airy Classic, there's Modern, there's Fresh, there's Bold. You can actually add your logo. I don't have any logo, but you can just select from your system and add a logo. Look at your system. Oh, I want maybe, I don't know, maybe this one should be the logo. I don't know what this is. But you just select any random picture, of course, your logo, right? For the business logo, upload it. This is still uploading. So this is just the flyer of the event. So let's say you can see the logo has come here. Then you can select the brand color. This is just the initial setup for the software. So you can select your brand color. So if AZ Limited brand color is, let's say, red or pink or whatever, green, you could just select it. Then you can also select the font. This is how to like customize so that when you're sending invoices to your customers, receipts to your customers, for some businesses, they don't care about all this invoice and receipt, but for some other businesses this is very essential because they need to like keep track, right? So you can actually select the font. So let's say you want Arial or you want Times Roman, increase the font. This is where you do all the design that has to do with the invoice. You can also add your EFT details. Let's say you want, how do you want it to look like? Do you want to display a column for discounts? Do you want to write something at the bottom of your invoice? Because this is what you're going to send to your customer. So you can say, oh, we appreciate your patronage. We appreciate your patronage, blah, blah, blah. Or you can say, kindly make payments for those that have not paid. So kindly make payments to Fidelity Bank, something, 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 bank account, 625, blah, blah. So you can see, once you do this, it's just trying to customize the way your invoices will look like, because these are the initial things. I keep saying it, these are the initial. You cannot just go open a software and you want to start posting transaction. You need to make sure that all these are in place before you go ahead with your transactions. My internet is a bit slow. My internet is slow, but can you still hear me and see me? I think my internet is slow. Can you hear me, people?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I don't know why my internet is slow. It's taking so much time. Oh, why is it taking so much time to load? Okay. Okay. So that did it appear? Okay, you can see. Did it appear? Oh, I'm coming. Let me just check if what we edited, if it came in, if he entered, it did not appear. So we just write anything. Kindly pay, anything 655. Blah, blah. This is just the whatever you want to write here. Then you click done. So you can see it has. Okay, so just relax. So it has, when we go to our form style, you see when we are about to send an invoice or a receipt to a customer, this is how it's going to look like, right? So we're done with this. We've been able to successfully customize an invoice for the business for AZ Limited. So let's just do this quick accounting transaction. So let's say AZ Limited started this business. Not as a new business. So let's just do this a quick accounting. So let's assume that AZ Business Limited started this company with initial capital of 10 million. So how do we enter that kind of transaction in an accounting software? The question what we're trying to enter into the software is AZ Limited started business with 10 million naira in his Access Bank account. There are three things involved. AZ Limited started business. Business is referred to as capital in accounting terms. Called any amount you use to start your business is called capital, right? So he started business with 10 million naira, and that 10 million naira was paid into his Access Bank. So I'll just quickly show you how you can enter that kind of transaction on an accounting software. So let's go to our dashboard. So this is our dashboard, right? This business just started operation. So you can say that this is a capital. This is like you're trying to recognize capital in your financial statements. How do you record this? It is not a transfer, it is not a bank deposit, it is nothing. First of all, we need to create a chart of account called, because now we don't have anything. Let's go to our chart of account. We don't have anything called Access Bank. QuickBooks does not, you do not connect your bank to QuickBooks. So QuickBooks does not know that there's anything called what? Access Bank. So the first thing you have to do is that for you to even recognize that that money is a capital, you have to what? Create an Access Bank account. Right? So let's create so this is how to create a chart of account in accounting software. So accounting software thrive with chart of account, because when you don't create a chart of accounts, you're leaving QuickBooks confused. They don't know where to put the money. So you're saying that AZ Limited started business with 10 million naira. Where is that 10 million naira? Is it 10 million naira Access Bank? You cannot just assume that the figure will just jump into the software. You will be the one to tell QuickBooks what to do, what account you should enter into, so that it can now help you prepare the reports, right? So now we just want to do this simple illustration. AZ Limited started business with 10 million naira. And let's not lie. Accountants, if you want to do our debit and credit, the first thing we have to do is that we'll credit our capital account. I'm sorry if I'm getting to accounting or if I'm going deep into accounting, but I really wish you understand. I really wish. Guys, do you understand? Am I getting too deep into accounting? Because this is an accounting software and you have to do accounting. You can't play around it. I hope you are understanding. We're about to do this very simple something. AZ Limited started business with what? With 10 million naira. So let's enter. So first of all, we don't even know that QuickBooks has not recognized that you have anything called this thing called Access Bank. So let's tell QuickBooks that, oh, there's an Access Bank account, right? So you can see under this
Hello, guys. So I'm thinking the speaker got disconnected.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe we'll just have to wait for her.
So what do you guys suggest? Do you suggest that we still hold on the meeting? I think she was supposed to round up by 9 or something.
She won't leave us stranded here. I believe she's going to come back.
Okay, that's pretty much true though.
Yeah.
But then regardless, I think we should just maybe like we can be discussing on it. So based on where she stopped, she was trying to explain to us that you're going to create the chart of accounts and then you probably open your bank account or your bank accounts. She said Access Bank. You open it from the charts of accounts and then before you will be able to record. So you're opening an account or a head for both the Access Bank, that's the bank, and you're also creating another one for Capital. So it's going to enable you to be able to debit your bank account, which is the Access Bank, with the 10 million and credit your Capital with the 10 million. Okay, she has responded. She said she's coming. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, she's still coming to join us. So it was actually a network issue.
Hello, Ugo.
Hello, is someone saying something?
Yes. What's your name?
No,
There's someone talking actually. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. Can you increase your voice a little, please?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Okay, we can try.
Okay, it's the earpiece. I'm putting on a piece, that's why. I don't know if that's the reason why you can't hear me. But can you hear me? Is it better now?
Exactly, it's better now. Thank you.
Hello?
It's better. It's quite better. You can go on. We're hearing you.
Okay, so I was first of all trying to pronounce your name. Ugo.
You were what?
Your name.
Oh, blessing.
Blessing. Okay. Okay. Nice to meet you. So do you have
Yeah.
any financial
I
background?
think we have to join this thing, another link. She sent a link to the group.
Again. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So probably join another group. Um. Okay, guys. I think we have to leave this group and probably join the next group. Oh yeah. Now see you guys in the next one.
Okay.